Hello guys, a lot of time has passed since I saw you last and I feel like I'm behind on the videos a lot, so I'm gonna try and catch up, and to do so I'm gonna try and start as I should have started from the beginning with a bit of introduction. My name is Emil, I live in Ireland, I'm Romanian, and I just bought a boat in March. I'm not entirely sure what the date was now. I got it delivered on the 4th of March, I can tell you that much. It's a 32-foot boat. She's called the Archangel. She's a McWester white catch, 32 foot, as I was saying. She's 50 years old. I know that I'm missing things, but hopefully I'm gonna come back to them later on. My idea about buying the boat was to get a bit of independence, and to do so I'm gonna have to fix her up, obviously, to get her into the shape that I want her into, which is livable aboard. I've got a bit to go up until then. Being a 50-year-old boat, she has a load of things that have to be updated or fixed, or just basic maintenance, I think, that is way overdue, generally speaking. Also, the boat had some modifications made to it. The wheel on the boat was not initially here, it was center cockpit. I still don't know if this is a good thing or not. It is definitely comfortable to just sit here and be able to steer the boat at the same time. I think the position would be more like this, maybe, than the other way around. So you're actually able to see outside the boat and maneuver around. Either way, I've got a feeling that I deviated. I've got a load of footage from the weeks before on a laptop at home that I got off a friend recently. The main reason for which I didn't post any videos so far is because I didn't have a laptop, so I didn't have the option of editing videos on anything else but the phone, and that is fairly simple, but it doesn't give you options. Like most of the options that you'd have on a laptop or a PC, you don't actually have on the phone, at least not with the editing software, with the free editing software that I'm using. Yeah, so I just got the laptop and I decided to resume shooting videos and editing and the works. So I'm gonna try and post things constantly on YouTube from now on. As a matter of fact, today is a very sunny and beautiful day, and I don't think I'm gonna do anything else on the boat. I'm just gonna chill around. I'm gonna do a bit of cleaning because that's also overdue. I've been working a lot on the boat, and I'm gonna show you through what I've done in a bit. To put it in a few words, I had the surveyor coming to see the boat, and he told me what to start with, and that would be resealing, replacing, and generally speaking, fixing everything that's fitted through the deck, which is the stanchions and the stanchion bases, actually, some eyelets, some cleats, some mooring posts, I think they're called, I'm not entirely sure, the bullpin, the plate that the anchor chain runs through. There's a load of things that have to be taken off. I've taken most of them off. I still have a few left to take off, but not that many, and that's gonna be, I think, a half a day job maybe. And then once I've taken everything off, I've got to start grinding and sanding down everything that was underneath. Then I've got to build some backing plates out of fiberglass. I'm gonna have some, actually it's not gonna be backing plates, it's gonna be more so the fiberglass is gonna get reinforced. So I want to thicken the fiberglass in the positions in which the stanchion bases and all of the above are gonna be fitted in, so that it's gonna be way more durable. Not that it isn't now, it's in fairly good condition. I just want it to be bulletproof. And then after I've thickened the fiberglass in them spots, I'm gonna have a backing plate. They initially were wood, but they were rotten because they were there for 50 years and they haven't been replaced since. Nobody is to blame for that. I wouldn't do it either, but it genuinely had to be done because they were in no shape to hold anything into place, let alone to hold the boat ashore or to get the boat towed if you need it, or I don't know, hold you on board if you're gonna lean against the lifelines, which is definitely a bad thing. So all of them had to be taken off. It is a job that I wouldn't want to do ever again because it is time consuming. It is dirty because you've got to cut down fiberglass, you've got to sand down the walls behind there because you've got rotten wood that stuck to it, you've got old paint, old fiberglass that covered the entire thing. It is an absolute mess, but it has to be done. I'm fairly happy that I'm mostly done with it. The only thing that's left now is to sand down all of the spots they were in and then go from there. So to go back to where I left you, the backing plates are not going to be wood anymore because wood rots and I don't want to ever do it again. They're going to be PVC for that matter, and then I'm gonna have another stainless steel 316 stainless steel backing plate. So it's gonna go like, you've got the deck, I'm gonna thicken the fiberglass, then under that you're gonna have the PVC backing plate, then the stainless steel backing plate, all of the things bolted through and securely fit in place, and hopefully I'm never going to have to touch them again. Now I'm gonna start with the things that I got done on the boat, which is I've installed this hatch. It's not completely installed, it is siliconed in place, it is not going anywhere, it is like really sturdy, but I still have to put the bolts through, drill the holes or re-drill the holes because they're kind of differently aligned, not by much, like it's not much of a difference, but it still has to be done. Like I have to re-drill the holes and then put in the bolts, which I don't have yet, so I'm gonna have to buy the bolts and then put them in, but that is not an emergency because, as I was saying, this is fairly well fixed in place. Rain is not getting in, it's watertight. I'm very happy with how it came out. And then another thing that I've done is the port lights, them little guys here, the windows on the sides of the boat. So we've got them. Then yeah, next one here, this is the one that looks into the galley or the saloon. It's actually a saloon slash galley kind of thing on this boat because it's fairly small. And then the one for the aft cabin just here. Then the next thing that I started doing is taking off everything that was fitted through the deck. The only things that I've left to take off are the things that you see here. Like literally this tiny spot here is the last one that has to be taken off. The bullpin, which is the bar that goes up and around and it fends the front of the boat, that one is actually taken off, so I can take it off at any point. I just have to pull it out. The things that give me a bit more of a heartache are them, this dude here, and then them two, this, and then this. The nuts are taken off on the other side, they're just not coming off. It's gonna take me a while to take them off, I think, and a bit of effort. And then this and this, so everything that's at the front of the boat has still to come off. And now for the things that I actually have taken off. We had stanchion bases here, then we had some chain plates just there. I still have a chain plate on this side and another one symmetrically placed on the other side of the boat. I don't have access to them on the inside of the boat just because in front of this one there's a small cabinet that I have to take out first, and then I'm gonna be able to take this chain plate off. And the other one on the other side, which I'm gonna try and show to you now, it's just there. For that one to come off, I'm gonna have to take off a fiberglass mold that the toilet is installed on top. So those are gonna be a bit more complicated. I don't think I'm gonna touch them. I know that I'm not gonna touch them for now because they're not an emergency. Once I'm gonna get to them areas in behind the tiny cabinet and in behind the fiberglass mold, I'm gonna get to them as well, but up until then I'm gonna leave them as they are. Then stanchion base again, chain plate again. Then this here was an eyelet and it goes on around the boat. Now this here, I actually haven't taken them off on the other side, but they're really simple to take off and they're not gonna be a bother. I'm just gonna show you how they actually looked. This bit here and this bit here, where the places, the holes where the base for the ladder was, and then this bit here, and there's another just here. So two holes, one here, one here, held a piece of wood in place that I have no idea what the use for was. I'm gonna show it to you on the other side. Now as everything that's wood on this boat, this was rotten on both sides, so it just basically came off, it ripped off. And those are the screws that held it in place initially. They're rusty, they're not turning, so I'm gonna have to cut them off from the inside and the outside, and then drill a hole through them just to be able to kind of poke them out. This is the way it worked for the other side. It was not a hard job, but a bit of a bother just. And them two thingies here, them two tiny poles, are the things that hold the ladder in place. The ladder that allows you to come out of the water and onto the boat whenever you go for a swim or whatever. Right? Then I had some rails that ran along here. This on the side was kind of a cage that was holding the bimini in place whenever the boat was covered, but that vinyl cover for the bimini is in fairly poor state, so there was no point in keeping them either, especially since they were not a tip-top shape either. Another eyelet, another few holes there just from kind of a support that was installed on top of the aft cabin. And I'm gonna show you to the aft of the boat. That one there, the big kind of sanded off portion with the duct tape, was a mooring post. I think they're called so. I'm gonna look into it, and next time I'm gonna speak about them, I'm fairly sure I'm gonna use the right term. Then eyelet there down the middle, mooring post, another mooring post just here, that was an eyelet there, same with that far corner, an eyelet just there. And then that final hole and that hole there were the ones for this. I think the last one is not called the bullpin, but I'm just gonna call it so because I don't know the term for it. So for this metal frame that went around the back. So this hole is taken off. Now to take you to the inside a bit. I'll show you this at first. I think this is way too much light. Let's darken it a bit, just like so. So on the inside we've got the place where the chain plate, the stanchion base, and the eyelet were mounted. The very light in color, bright actually, place there, that was the stanchion base. Then the next one to the right, just here, was where the chain plate was installed. And then this square thing up top here, this is where the eyelet was installed. Then we've got another eyelet just there, that's the one. I have taken off the chain locker. This is where it was installed. You can actually see the difference in color just there, and then there, and it goes all the way down in there. And what was there was big triangular, I'm gonna actually show it to you, that guy there, that is made out of plywood. As you can see, it is not in the best shape. It's not in the worst shape either, like I've seen way worse than this. I'm still gonna have to replace it. I'm just gonna keep this as shape for the original. So you had that, then you've got an eyelet bolted through here. The chain was actually connected to this, so whenever you lower the anchor, if God forbids you drop it, it's not gonna, your chain is not gonna drop overboard, which would be an extreme bother. Like, you're gonna have to dive and pick it up, and depending on the depth of the water at your anchoring spot, it might create a load of problems. So that is a very good idea. I like it so much. The tiny eyelet there that keeps the chain into place is brilliant. I also have the door that covers this cutout here. Also, I'm gonna replace that as well, because as I was saying, it is old. I'd rather replace them now since I'm doing this job than replace them later. And it goes on stanchion. Inside this little cabinet here, we've got the place where chain plate was. I'm gonna show you a close-up of this. You can still see the texture of the wood that was glued onto it, so I'm gonna have to grind this all down to bring it down to level, and then I'm gonna have to grind down the inside just a tiny bit, just to fare it nicely and have the epoxy stick to it perfectly, rather than stick to old rotten wood. So that tiny bit of wood that's left there, I'm gonna have to sand off. Once I'm gonna bring that to level, I'm gonna thicken the fiberglass, then I'm gonna have a PVC backing plate, then I'm gonna have a stainless steel backing plate, then everything is gonna be bolted through there and hold firmly into position. And I hope I'm never going to have to do that again. Alright, let's continue on to the back of the boat. And there we are. This is the aft cabin. And as well as for the main cabin, we've got a load of holes, a load of places where things were. This was one of the most complicated ones to take out. I had a backing plate here, the one that the rail outside was bolted onto, and this backing plate goes through this separator, this wall, and outside into a locker, into a side locker. Now I had to cut all the way around it. I had to cut it down from here, take out this part, then do the same thing on the outside. So get it into that locker outside, cut out all around it, and then take it out. And also I'm gonna have to sand this down, fare it nicely, bring it into a clean, neat state, so I can fiberglass on top of it without the fiberglass coming off. Now for the back of the aft cabin, this was the most difficult, one of the most difficult things that I had to take out. It was cabinet, a fiberglass cabinet that had two compartments to the side and one down the middle. You can actually kind of see it on the wall. There's a line there, and going up, this was separated, like the center piece was separated, and then you've got another compartment here to the right. It looks fairly nice. I think I'm gonna hold on to it. I actually still have it. It's underneath the boat at the moment. The reason for which I had to take it out is because, same with the ones that I've showed you before, I had some backing plates. You can actually see the spots there that ran from here to there, and you can see the line where the it's just there, that line where the cabinet was. So I had the option of either trying to cut around it from inside the cabinet, but I had no access in there at all, or take the cabinet off, take the backing plates off, replace them, and then put them back on and put the cabinet back on, which I did. It was a fairly hard job to take the whole lot off instead of just working around it, but basically I had no option. I would have loved not to take the cabinet off, but it had to be done, unfortunately. Either way, same as with the rest of the boat, this has to be sanded down. This is one of the spots that I actually have sanded quite a bit, but I'm gonna have to do it a bit more just to bring it level and have it nice and ready for fiberglassing. I know it doesn't look like much, but I think this kind of sums up the main jobs that I've done on the boat so far. To sum it all up, I think I've showed you most of the jobs that I've done on the boat. All of them jobs involved a bit of side work as well. Like for every single job that I've done, I had to go kind of around it. For everything that I've taken off, I had to take off some other things before that. For example, I've got a rub rail that went around the boat previously. It's not there anymore. I took it off because in order to get the bolts that held the chain plates in place, I had to take the rub rail off. And it's not the only example. The chain locker, I showed it to you before. The kind of cabinet at in the aft cabin, and those are the ones that absolutely had to be done, so I had to take them off. The ones that I haven't taken off yet are the cabinet in what is going to be the wet room. It's just in between the main cabin and the fore cabin. So in between the V berth and the main cabin, you've got that tiny space where you've got where I've got at the moment that tiny cabinet, the head on the other side, and just kind of a small passageway. Either way, behind that small cabinet and behind the head is I was telling you before, I've got 2 more chain plates that I haven't gotten to. I'm not gonna take them off just yet because they're not that important, and I really don't want to take them off. It's gonna get done, definitely. It's not the time for it just now. On a more positive note, I'm nearly done with taking everything off, and once I'm gonna have that done, I'm gonna start putting everything back again. When that is going to be done, I'm not going to have to touch the through deck fittings again for another few good years, I hope. I'm gonna leave you be, guys. I'm gonna see you next time. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell button to get notifications if you want to. And once again, thanks for your support. Anything that you think I should improve in the videos, please let me know. If you've got any ideas about how things should go on the boat, or if you think that I'm doing something wrong, please let me know, because I have no experience. This is my first boat. It is a work in progress, and it is a learning experience for me. So I'm not gonna pretend that I know everything. I'm just gonna try and learn as many things as I can in as little time as I can. See you next time, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.